wouldn't it be nice if we thought the FBI director and transportation secretary were just doing their jobs for the American people? Well, Sean Duffy just announced on Fox that he, his wife, and 9 children recorded a reality show over the course of 7 months. But don't worry, it was for us. We all needed to be encouraged to take road trips across America in time for the 250-year anniversary. Never mind, of course, the fact that Trump has just made that a whole heck of a lot more expensive. And Kash Patel is evidently administering lie detector tests to determine who exactly spoke to The Atlantic about the fact that he isn't doing his job very well. In the meantime, college universities have gotten hacked, 9,000 of them in particular, over the Canvas system. That's a system students use to communicate with the university and their teachers. And evidently, the hackers have data on 165 million students and are holding that data ransom. Wouldn't it be nice if we thought the FBI was on the job? My name is Dina Doll, and this is the MeidasTouch Network. Let's get into this. Let's first talk about Sean Duffy. And just as a side note, this idea that Trump approved Kristi Noem's hundreds of millions of dollar ad to promote the border maybe becomes a lot more believable, because here Sean Duffy films this reality show in order, again, to highlight the American people. In fact, it's a Department of Transportation government initiative. They are very careful in pointing out, however, that the trip and the filming and the recording was privately funded. What makes me feel less good about that, however, are the sponsors. Sponsor includes Boeing. Of course, we know Boeing is regulated and overseen by the Department of Transportation. United Airlines is also one of the sponsors, again, overseen and regulated by the Department of Transportation. A huge conflict of interest. But Sean Duffy is very proud, evidently, of this reality show. Here he is on Fox talking about it.
The 50th anniversary is fast approaching, and what better way to celebrate our beautiful country than to see our beautiful country?
The Duffy family is doing just that, embarking on a great American road trip to rediscover our great nation.
I think Mud's kind of mad. I'm not.
You're mad.
We're not going to fight on this trip. Put your seatbelts on.
So we're inviting you along with our family on the Great American Road Trip. Stop scrolling and hit the road, mile by mile, window down, and hearts wide open.
Welcome to Montana.
The Duffys, they've got tons of kids. I think they have like 11 kids. 9 or 11 something. Is there a difference?
Just come with it. Wow. And guess who's here? The Duffys.
We're here.
So, Sean, as Transportation Secretary, I assume this was your idea.
So I wanted to lean into America's 250th birthday. Rachel and I actually met on a road trip on a reality TV show.
Right.
And so over the course of 7 months, we just kind of found these moments where I might be able to do some work. I could take the kids with me, do a road trip.
Oh, yeah.
And our motto is to love America is to see America. And there's so much to see in this beautiful country. We did that with our family. The president kicked us off, as you're seeing right now. We went to the Oval with the kids. By the way, who gets to do that? The kids were wildly excited, and he was so generous with his time, the president was. But at this time, as we look at people coming into the summer, there's so many different ways you can do a road trip. I don't know if you guys did it when you were young. My parents took us on road trips. We actually would drive from Wisconsin to Florida. We didn't have a lot of money, so my mom would pack up a cooler, and we'd drive straight through. We didn't stay overnight. We would drive straight through, multiple drivers. But you could go for 2 hours. You could drive for 2 days. Yeah. You could do a day trip. It fits any budget to do a road trip. And I'm taking all this stuff from Rachel, and we've enjoyed this with our family. But there's so many kids that sit on screens. They watch Netflix. They just scroll. If you pull them off the couch and you get them in a car, the bonding that happens between families, again, at the time you might fight with all your siblings. He's touching me, get away from me. But in the end, you look back and it's the greatest memories that you have.
It's quality time.
Here's the thing. Of course, we know Sean Duffy used to be a reality TV star. That's how he met his wife. And if you want to do reality TV, go ahead and do it, but not on a taxpayer dime. Because even if this recording and filming was privately funded, your salary is not. It is paid for by the American people. And You should have been busy, so busy that you couldn't take time to record. Do you know how long it takes to record those things? How you have to have the perfect setting, the perfect timing, the perfect scheduling, having everybody in the right place. Perhaps they took a few shots. That time would have been better served by serving the American people, because a whole heck of a lot happened this past year, as we know. DOJ, right in the beginning of the term, fired hundreds of FAA employees. We have now seen near misses and air traffic controllers. We've seen actual fatalities. We have seen so many occurrences with airlines that have made us as a public feel less safe. We have seen Sean Duffy just standing there in press conferences. Now it makes sense. We thought it was perhaps just because he was unqualified, but it's probably not just because he was unqualified, but because he was on vacation when those things happened and was barely up to speed. I mean, you cannot do both jobs. You have to pick one. And then, of course, the fact that Spirit Airlines just went bankrupt. Airlines this past year struggling financially. Spirit has been struggling a long time before they went bankrupt. Perhaps he could have helped get involved in the conversation or assure the American people that he was at least in charge or doing something. And never mind the government shutdowns. The number of government shutdowns that specifically affected the TSA, never mind the widespread government shutdown, then of course the one that specifically affected TCA. So how much during that time was he on vacation? This is what we need to know, and American people deserve to know. We deserve somebody who's willing to do their job. The irony, of course, is Buttigieg, who went on Fox and criticized the Buttigieg under Biden for taking time off to be with his twins when they were born prematurely, who was sick. This man who is so proud of the fact that he has 9 kids somehow hated on a father for trying to be there for his children and his husband when his newly born twins were so sick. He's hating on him on Fox and then has the nerve to go on this vacation. Take a listen to that clip in 2023 where he says how awful it was for him, Buttigieg, to take time.
What say you, Sean?
Hold on a second, Julie, to that point, he took a 4-month maternity leave, right? He was on vacation over in Europe, and when he's on vacation, he's completely out. When you have problems inside the agency in which you run, you don't go on vacation. You don't take a 4-month maternity leave. We've had 9 babies in my house. I took maybe 2 days off. I got back to work. I was a public servant.
You'd be off for 10 years if you took that kind of...
Give me a break.
I didn't think we had a problem with Americans not taking road trips, but if we did, it isn't because we don't think our country is beautiful. It is because, for one, most Americans work 2 jobs, don't have jobs that have built-in vacation time. They work a minimum wage. If they take a day off to go on vacation, they don't get paid. How about solving that problem? Maybe Americans won't take as many road trips right now because of the price of gas. How about solving that problem? Never mind the fact that most Americans, when they take road trips, do it to go visit our beautiful national parks. Trump here wants some flashy entertainment reality show, but at the same time, just this month, he's announced that he plans on slashing the national park budget by millions and millions of dollars, which will reduce employees, reduce hours, reduce construction to help keep the upkeep of our national parks. The hypocrisy of trying to sell the American people this flashy entertainment, at the same time taking away what we all collectively own in these beautiful national parks. The ability for us as Americans to go visit them. If you truly cared about celebrating these great places to visit in our country, you would properly fund something as basic as our national parks. But this isn't about that. This is about apparently Sean Duffy just liking reality shows, and Trump certainly liking reality shows a whole heck of a lot more than just doing the job that the American people are putting you in power to do. And even those of us who didn't put you in power still deserve of somebody willing to do the job that you're in the office to do. It's so concerning having a transportation secretary not doing their job, and even more so perhaps, or just as much, the FBI director. So as we know, the Atlantic article claimed that people, evidently 24 anonymous sources, said that he's incapable of doing his job properly because of a drinking problem. He evidently is now, Kash Patel is having the FBI evidently investigate the journalist. The journalist then did a second article saying that evidently Kash Patel hands out engraved bourbon as gifts. Kash Patel is also evidently putting fellow agents, colleagues under lie detector tests to figure out who spoke to that reporter. Wouldn't it be nice if we just thought he was doing his job? Because this hack of college campuses putting at risk, I mean, this is a time, they time this hack, of course, at a time when most students are graduating, putting in their final reports, their final tests, their final grades. And if these universities do not meet the ransom demand, then the hackers will evidently release the data, the personal data of 165 million students. This hostage criminal act happening when Kash Patel is more worried about who spoke to the reporter about whether or not he's doing his job makes us as a country less safe, makes us more vulnerable for these hackers. We see Trump and so many of the people that he appointed being so unqualified, so not doing their jobs. And we're not the only people seeing it. And here we have situations that people can take advantage of. And this Canvas system, the Canvas system that they hacked, really being vulnerable and creating havoc, and Kash Patel basically MIA.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasTouch.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasTouch.com.